All right, welcome back, everyone. Maybe you're planning a weekend getaway here in Virginia, maybe going up to Richmond, D.C., maybe even hiking the Shenandoah Mountains or maybe going down to OBX. We want to make sure you are covered if you are driving to any of those locations. So we have Patrick DeHaan, expert with GasBuddy, joining us here live this morning. Patrick, we know we're in kind of the last few weeks of summer where families are getting ready to head out on those vacations before kids go back to school. How's gas prices looking like for us?
Well, they're on the decline. Certainly, good news is that oil prices that fell significantly earlier this week, paving the way for lower gas prices across the majority of states. Virginia, no exception. Looking here at live data, the average price in Virginia down about 10 cents a gallon from where it was a week ago. So, good news there. The bad news, though, is we really don't know how long it's going to last. Oil prices fell significantly earlier this week based on the potential that the president mentioned a deal with Iran may be imminent. And now some of the details, at least from what Iran is looking at with Oman, are a little disappointing in how they could improve the situation. So just a lot of volatility here, a lot of back and forth with the US and Iran situation. And it's going to be very difficult to know exactly what the path forward is. But for now, gasoline prices declining, but that could change ahead of Labor Day as well.
Yeah, well, we'll take the drop for sure. That is always good news, and I feel like a few weeks ago, when you and I both spoke here on Live Impact News, it seemed like it was trending up. So this is certainly good, and it seems like you mentioned with the talks of, this ongoing Iran war, it kind of just fluctuates, right?
Yeah, it absolutely does fluctuate. Just depends on what is developing between the US and Iran, whether the strait is open or closed. Not just the US and Iran, but also increasingly Ukraine has been launching additional attacks on Russian oil refineries. And that's almost just as problematic as the Strait of Hormuz being closed down, because while the Strait of Hormuz is oil specific, it impacts the price of oil. The price you pay at the pump is not just oil. The fact that there's oil refineries, all that oil has to be put into a refinery, and as Ukraine attacks Russian oil refineries, Russia, which traditionally is a big exporter of products, well, Russia no longer has as many products to export. They've banned the exports of diesel for the next several months. And that's also problematic because refineries, when they get attacked, it's not like you can repair your refinery overnight from these significant attacks. So that's also become more problematic in the last few weeks.
Yeah, something we'll continue to watch for sure. And I know you said like this could be temporary. We could see things bounce back up. How about as far as air travel? I know you said previously that doesn't really get impacted as much. Is that still the case?
Well, I mean, certainly to a lesser degree. I mean, jet fuel prices are a big part of a ticket. Now that we're kind of outside the peak of summer travel season, you may see airfares declining a little bit because it's more about the time of year. Americans don't really travel as much in the fall and winter. But you may see airfares that may be under pressure this fall. Because there's simply not as much demand for air travel. So don't expect any big discounts, at least for now. But air travel, very much like gasoline demand, is quite seasonal, and airlines have some pricing power, but jet fuel prices have come down a little bit. But also, jet fuel prices are more impacted, more likely, than the situation with the Strait of Hormuz. They're more impacted by Ukraine's attacks on Russian oil refineries because those very refineries produce a lot of diesel and jet fuel.
Well said. And so, good news again, we're down 10 cents right now, but you anticipate this possibly not lasting long depending how things go overseas. Let's say a peace deal is reached and things go, in a good direction over there. Do you think this could really dramatically bring prices down?
Dramatically, it's going to depend on the details. I mean, it's easy for us to think, well, if the strait is open, but I think it's a lot more complicated. I mean, if there's good news, there will probably be notable relief. But the U.S. and Iran is not the only impact right now that's weighing on gas prices. A lot of it is becoming more so Ukrainian attacks on Russian oil refineries, and that's something that may outlive whether or not the strait is reopened. So it's been a really, really long year with a lot of geopolitical influences on gas prices. I'd love for them to all disappear overnight. but I don't think it's going to be as clear cut. So we're going to continue to see oil and gas prices on a bit of a roller coaster until we get clarity on both of these issues, both the U.S. and Iran and Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah, that's a great point. I kind of forget that, the Ukraine and Russia war has impacts on things. Patrick, any other final advice or thoughts for viewers at home as we head into the weekend?
Well, with prices going down, make sure to shop around before you fill your tank up because prices are going down a few cents every day. But that could change at a moment's notice. And the other factor I didn't even mention, by the way, hurricane season. Thankfully, it's been quiet, but that could change as well. So, just a lot of different factors make it very difficult to accurately predict where gas prices are going to be in the next few weeks.
That's a great point too. Forgot about hurricane season, especially here for us in Virginia, being right here on the coast. But Patrick Haan, expert with GasBuddy, we appreciate you taking time out of your morning to speak with us.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We're going to take a break here at 11:38, and we will be right back, everyone.